be making burritos. Well, really I'll be making the filling that can be served in a burrito or tacos or in a salad or really any way you want. What we need to start with though is the spice mixture. I'm going to start with 2 tablespoons of cumin, about a tablespoon of chili powder, and use about a tablespoon of marjoram. And before I put this in, I'm going to go ahead and kind of grind it between my hands. About a tablespoon of parsley flakes, which you also want to grind up. About 3/4 of a tablespoon of black pepper. Just about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cloves, ground cloves. About 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. A few grates of nutmeg. Just barely 1/4 of a teaspoon of cocoa powder. We don't want this to be a chocolate flavored seasoning. I just want to give this a good mix. Next I have 1 sweet onion that I'm just going to chop finely, and 5 large cloves of garlic, which also get chopped finely. Then I've got 3, I think these are yellow banana peppers, and 1 jalapeno. You want to first clean out the ribs and seeds from the inside of the pepper, because that's where most of the heat is going to be. And once the peppers are all cleaned out, I'm just going to chop them up. Lastly, as far as plant matter goes, I have about 1/4 cup of fresh cilantro. I'm going to chop it very, very finely. Because this is pretty much going to be used raw, I went ahead and removed a lot of the stems because they can be kind of tough. Now it's finally time to work with our meat. This is about 1.8 pounds of brisket. First thing I want to do is get rid of this layer of fat. Then I want to go ahead and just chop this meat up into fairly small pieces. Now that I'm pretty much done with all my prep work, I'm going to go ahead and get a couple of cups of rice started in the rice cooker. I'm going to get my pan going over medium heat with a little bit of oil. We'll go ahead and add the peppers. I'm going to give them a little bit of salt. After the peppers have had a couple of minutes, we'll go ahead and add the onions and garlic. And give the onion just a little bit of salt. After a few more minutes, the onions will become translucent and some of the peppers might start to brown. And go ahead and add the meat. Want to give the meat a little bit of salt. Then go ahead and add a couple of tablespoons of your taco seasoning. And make sure everything gets mixed well. Now you just want to kind of keep an eye on it, stirring it occasionally. You want to get the meat browned all over. Now that the meat is browned on all sides, I want to let it simmer for a bit to just make sure it's really nice and tender. For that we need liquid. My liquid of choice tonight is beer. Give this a stir, make sure I've got any crusty bits scraped up off the bottom of the pan. I'm going to go ahead and throw in a couple of bay leaves. I'm just going to let this go for a little while, stirring occasionally. My rice is finished cooking, so it's time to move on with it. I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the cooker, add in the cilantro, and the juice of 1 lime. And just get that all mixed up together really well. Cover it up just to make sure it stays warm. And once pretty much all of your liquid is gone, you're ready to pick out the bay leaves and serve yourself up. And finally, we come to assembly. Take a large tortilla, and we'll take some of the rice, some of our meat. I like some sour cream. Of course, you can put whatever else you like in here. Normally I would also put in some cheese, but I just discovered that my cheese has gone bad, so I will be foregoing that step. Fold up the side closest to you, then the 2 ends, and you roll it up. Thanks. Enjoy.